Hey there everybody, this is PotterBrony and welcome to another Batman reaction of Death Battle. This time we have a very special Death Battle. We have Nightwing versus Daredevil, a live action Death Battle. Which I had mentioned before, seeing the preview where they said it was going to be live action. Kind of sounds like this one YouTube channel that I couldn't think of the name at first, but then, found out, of course, figured out, was told that it was Bat and the Sun. Seen a couple of their well, they're not Death Battle. Seen a couple of their live-action superpower beatdowns. And really good stuff. So I'm wondering if they worked with them there or what the deal was. I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Whereas that one's done by vote, though. This one, they decide by analyzing the characters. As far as Nightwing versus Daredevil, both highly trained, both really skilled, but one of them was trained by the goddamn Batman, so I mean, I know Daredevil had a pretty intense trainer too, but he's no goddamn Batman. But yeah, let's just get it started, see what they have in store for us. I'm gonna say I'm thinking Nightwing will win, even though Daredevil may be highly trained, he also has the ability of he sees everything, but that can be thrown off, as been shown. And Nightwing is definitely skilled enough to exploit that kind of weakness. But let's just take a look. As always, link in the description below. Be sure to support the official release. Support Screw Attack, and let's get started in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Hey everybody, want to let you know we have an all-new Death Battle tee. If you guys like the way it looks and you want to pick one up, just click the link in the description below. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Awkward.
In a world where superhumans can fly through the sky or lift buildings over their head, it takes a lot more than a pair of tights for a mere mortal to stand out from the crowd.
But these guys have it covered.
Nightwing, the original protege of Batman.
And Daredevil, Marvel's man without fear. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright. Well, graphics are good in this Death Battle.
Questionable whimsies of the circus are all but dead.
And good riddance, because the world doesn't need any more clowns.
Yet in its heyday, few performances could top the trapeze mastery of the Flying Graysons.
Well, until a mobster cut their cord on life short. Literally.
But they had a son, young yet just as talented as them. Orphaned and alone, all seemed hopeless for Dick Grayson.
Until he scored the coolest foster dad in the frickin' universe, the goddamn Batman.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said.
Crusader, Dick wasn't just a son. He was a sidekick, a superhero. He was Robin. Until he wasn't.
You got knocked the out, man!
Robin spent many, many years kicking bad guys around the back alleys of Gotham City with his new dad. Who could forget the time he crushed Blockbuster under a truck, or when he whipped out that shark repellent? Never leave home without it, kids.
But then Batman suddenly realized, you know what? Bringing kids into battle is actually a bad idea. So he
I wonder.
And then promptly forgot this little revelation.
Only time to update the resume, Batman.
Yeah.
Probably for the best, though. I mean, come on. The kid didn't even have a proper pair of pants. What's your problem, Bruce? Whoa!
Yeah, that show or whatever the hell it looks like a piece of shit.
Though not in the way Batman hoped. Inspired by a story of an ancient Kryptonian superhero, Dick took to the streets by himself with a brand new uniform and a brand new name. From then on, he would be known as Nightwing.
Gotta hand it to Bats. He sure knows how to mold a kid into a criminal-crushing machine. With expertise in Taekwondo, Ninjutsu, Aikido, and a bunch of other styles, Nightwing is one of the finest martial artists in comic book history.
No doubt helped by his world-class acrobatic skills. He is one of only 3 people on Earth who are capable of performing a quadruple flip.
And between the fancy schooling he got at Hudson U and being a founding member of the Teen Titans, he's got brains and brawn, plus a whole lot of weapons.
Nightwing's suit is lightweight, bulletproof, and makes virtually no sound when moving. The blue colors even turn black glow in the dark. His mask features a holographic UI, complete with night vision and a spectral analyzer.
He's rocking utility belts on his wrists and ankles full of lockpicks, smoke pellets, and staples that are so strong they can support the weight of a freaking helicopter.
He also carries a rebreather, grapple gun, and wing.
Nice.
That weird alien font with all the shapes? Oh, I'll figure out your secret one day, Wingdings.
No, more like the Batarangs, or thrown shurikens. The standard Wingdings are extremely sharp, but he also carries dulled, ultrasonic, and explosive variants.
But let's get to the good stuff. Like his
I
two
honestly did not know that.
Eskrima
He
sticks.
calls them
that are great for beating the
Wingdings.
shit out of people. And they'll be pretty shocked when they find out Nightwing has wired them with 50,000 volt tasers.
Despite their falling out, Nightwing clearly remains inspired by the gadgets and skills of his baddie mentor, and he's put them to good use.
He's strong enough to punch people through solid walls and
You may
smash
not
through
like
a sheet
him,
of
but
ice
he does
from
respect him.
underwater and hold back the 19,000 pounds per square inch bite force of an orca.
And while breaking a car window doesn't sound impressive, Nightwing's done so while the car was underwater, and therefore pressurized. To pull this off, he needed to impact the glass with over 24,000 pounds per square inch.
He's quick enough to dodge point-blank gunfire, skilled enough to leap through the city while blindfolded, and tough enough to survive falling off a building.
Generally, any unsafe landing over 21 feet is guaranteed to break bone.
And Nightwing dropped 140 feet onto his butt, and he was fine. And we've all fallen on our tailbone. That shit sucks.
At
Yeah.
one point, Nightwing spent
Well, I
96
felt it when that
hours
guy felt
patrolling
just like,
the
ugh.
streets looking for the criminal mastermind Two-Face, and an additional 5 or more hours collecting evidence. A 2010 study on sleep deprivation noted that 72 hours without sleep leads to a number of horrendous side effects, including hallucinations.
But when it was time to leap between blimps hundreds
I
of
don't
feet
doubt
in the
it.
air and give Two-Face the beatdown he deserved, you couldn't even tell Nightwing was in desperate need of a nap. And don't forget, he was trained by the #1 detective in the world. He's good enough to solve a kidnapping with a single look at the scene of a crime.
Even more impressive, he once performed a skydive at 930 miles per hour, which took all of 15 minutes. That puts his starting position around 25 miles high, and free-falling faster than the speed of sound. For reference, real-life Austrian athlete Felix Baumgartner performed a similar great leap from 24
Yeah, I've seen
miles,
this video.
hitting a maximum speed over 800 miles per hour. To pull
That
this
is
off, he needed
insane.
a specialized suit to protect him from the extreme cold, unfiltered sunlight, and lack of oxygen. One mistake in movement could have put him into a rapid spin, rendering him unconscious and causing his blood to boil.
And Nightwing just did it without any of that. Damn.
He's certainly tough, but he's had his fair share of losses. His scarred body is proof of that.
And eventually, him and Bats finally made up. He even took up the cowl himself when Batman was out for a while. Nightwing is one superhero who will always come out on
if
top.
you can pass as the
along
Batman.
with his partners, Jim and Juan.
What?
I mean, it's right here in the intern's notes. Who's Jim and Juan?
Oh, that's the names these ladies gave his butt cheeks.
Oh, well, guess you can't argue with the ass on that dick.
Robin?
I haven't used that name in a long time. Call me Nightwing.
Yeah, that long hair though. Don't like that way.
Before he
Nightwing
became
design.
the man without fear, Matthew
I know
Murdock
saying that
was
against
the
Teen
son of a
Titans
professional
is,
boxer named Battling Jack.
Sounds like a badass.
I like Teen Titans, but that design was
Because
just bad.
it was the
Alright.
only thing he was good
On to
at.
Daredevil.
And he needed money to get his kid through school so that little Matt would have a better life than he did. Oh, what a
As
good
any
dad.
father should.
He's punching people for his kid.
Matt still trained in secret with his father's exercise equipment, molding himself into a powerful fighter and an expert acrobat. This new athletic ability would come in handy when he witnessed a blind man walking right in front of a speeding truck.
Feeling especially heroic that day, Matt dove in to push the guy to safety, but the truck crashed, sending some weird acid stuff flying all over Matt's face.
From that day forward, Matt was permanently blind.
I can't see! I can't see!
Still, Matt did not give up on the dream his father wanted. He earned his degree with flying colors and founded a law firm with his friend Foggy Nelson. Things were actually looking up for him.
Well, except for when his dad was killed by a mobster for ruining a rigged boxing match.
Yeah,
You can't be a superhero
that
unless you've lost your parents.
Matt was distraught. His world
Fair
had come
point.
crashing down around him, and he couldn't even see it happen. But he could hear it, smell it, feel it.
Yeah, 'cause turns out that radioactive goop didn't just blind Matt, it gave him superpowers. So he dressed up like the devil himself and literally scared the mobster to death.
And so, Daredevil was born. Many blind people, particularly those born with it, experience a rewriting of the brain to heighten their other senses, somewhat making up for their lack of sight.
Something similar happened to Daredevil, except like 100 times greater.
His touch
Using
became
footage
so
from-
sensitive, he can tell when a person is close to him.
the Daredevil show,
from the
Netflix
disturbance
show,
in the air.
really
His
good.
ears can pick up the
I recommend it if
faintest
you
of
haven't seen it.
sounds, from the slightest movement of an enemy to the rising heartbeat of someone who's lying. His taste can detect each separate ingredient in any recipe, including poisons, and his nose can track you down like a bloodhound.
Who needs eyes when you can sense everything around you to the smallest detail? But he couldn't use his blind powers as well as he does without the training under a super secret warrior named Stick. No relation.
With Stick's help, Matt mastered several fighting styles, including
Took me a
ninjutsu,
second.
Krav Maga, and Kung Fu.
And get this, Stick had basically the same blind powers as Daredevil.
Whoa. Silk sheets.
Thanks to him, Matt learned how to hone his senses, to know and maneuver through his surroundings even better than those with working eyes. He also learned how to tap into something called an atom-induced radar sense.
Like that thing that bats do when they bounce sound around to see in the dark or whatever?
Sort of.
That's
That's sonar,
echolocation.
or echolocation, and he
Yeah.
can use it too. But thanks to his radioactive origins, Daredevil can actually emit electromagnetic energy waves from his body, which bounce off objects in his vicinity, painting a picture of his surroundings in his head. This means he doesn't even need sound to find and take down an opponent.
So he's got a ton of ways to make up for his eye problem, but he's
I didn't
also
know
got
that
some
bit.
awesome gear to help him take out the bad guys. Like his devil suit that's bulletproof, shockproof, flameproof, and a perfect backup plan whenever he forgets to prep for a Halloween party.
For combat, he built a versatile weapon out of
Yes.
his most innocuous possession, a walking cane.
By day, he's a feeble blind man slowly tapping across the road. But by night, he whips out the horns and snaps his cane into a high-tech billy club.
The club houses a cable, hidden blades, a recording device, and exploding pellets.
It can even turn into a boomerang. Man, where do I get one of these? You don't have to be blind, right?
No, but you shouldn't. You already destroy everything without a super club.
Well, I'd need to practice to throw it as well as he does. You know how Captain America tosses his shield all over the place and it always seems to come back to him? Well, Daredevil does the exact same thing. And he can throw it hard enough to bust concrete. He's super strong. He can lift a 400-pound barbell and chuck it as casually as when I toss a beer away if it's time for a new one.
He's quick enough to deflect
Alright, I'm
bullets with his
thinking
billy
maybe
club and skilled enough to bounce one
Daredevil
back so it
now.
killed the man who fired it in the first place.
Bet that guy wasn't expecting that. It looks
Yeah.
like he's firing a Glock, which has a muzzle speed of about 1,200 feet per second.
At just 20
Bet
feet
that
away,
was a
Daredevil
surprise.
had to react within 17 milliseconds to avoid getting hit. And while he couldn't survive a shot to the head, he's powered through a heck of a lot when compared to the average human.
He's survived zaps from Electro, whose power can burn through metal. He's fallen multiple stories and walked away, powered through a napalm explosion, and been hit by a 5-foot bar swung by the Ox, who can tear through metal cages and lift more than 800 pounds.
His keen control over his nervous system has also helped him resist tranquilizers and toxins, but his super senses are also his biggest weakness.
They may give him
Yeah.
way more field awareness than most anybody else, but if his opponent knows how his powers work, they can overload his senses with an extremely loud noise or a really bad smell. Like if you had a truckload of screaming skunks you could throw at him. That'd probably work, right?
But even with those weaknesses,
That would probably
Daredevil
work.
is a fearsome foe for anyone who would face him, even if he can't see them.
He even managed to balance his life of law and the crime fighting, and became a huge success on his own. Papa Boxer would be proud.
I'm gonna kill you!
Nah, you're not.
Take your shot.
You're gonna try.
All right, the combatants are
right.
set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
Let's see it now.
But first, you need to treat your senses to Blue Apron.
Here we go again. Alright, I mean, I knew a lot of the stuff about Daredevil, but unless, you know, unless Nightwing can exploit his weakness, which is what I was thinking he would do from the start, but now hearing his strength, his speed, like, Still, Nightwing was trained by the goddamn Batman. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with my original thing, saying Nightwing's going to win it. They both have good and bad. Obviously, that's they always match up similar people. And here we go. All right. Nice suit.
I know you're there. You can leave now, or I can drag you out. It's your choice.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots, especially looking at the Prince of Darkness. But that case over there is part of an investigation I've been working, so why don't you hand it over, and I'll get out of your horns. Is that a no, then?
Nice banter. Yeah, pun not intended, but when Daredevil has no blind spot, kind of hard to get him from behind. Oh, broken arm. Or at least twisted. Popped the joint out of the socket. Alright, so he popped the elbow out the socket.
What are you? Better.
Can you back it up? Yeah, that won't work. Unless you tag him in the face. That one weakness right here. Alright. You clearly don't know who you're fighting. So, there goes my thought if he could figure out his strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, never mind. Daredevil's gonna take this one.
I wish I could see the look on your face.
Me too.
Or... Oh! Well, there it is. And they turned it around on me.
See you in hell.
the... Was that live action? We can do that now?
This was possibly one of our closest matchups to date. Despite lacking a true superhuman physique, both Nightwing and Daredevil were extremely...
Didn't bring that up at all in the,
when it came to overpowering each
in the
other,
analyzation.
they were pretty dead even.
Analyzing.
Sure, based on their previous feats, we can tell that Nightwing seemed a little stronger and more acrobatic, and Daredevil seemed a little quicker to react.
But these differences were extremely minimal. It's actually feasible that these two could pull off almost all the exact same feats.
Keyword being almost.
Right. With such similar physical abilities, this really came down to their arsenal. Nightwing's gadgets and Daredevil's superpowers.
Fair
At first
point.
glance, these could simply counter each other, making this match completely even again. For example, both could take advantage of the dark with night vision or super senses. But only one set was perfectly suited to actively disrupt the other.
Remember Nightwing's scanning mask? There's no way he couldn't notice those electro waves Daredevil's radar sense was sending everywhere. Even Mr. Magoo could have figured out something was weird here, let alone the guy trained by frickin' Batman. You know, the greatest detective in the world.
Through a little hand-to-hand
That was
action,
kind of my
Daredevil
argument.
was certainly clever enough to recognize Daredevil's reliance to sound over sight, and had the perfect counter-weapon, the ultrasonic wingding.
Look, I'm sure there were several possible scenarios where Daredevil could have pulled off.
Can't get over that they call it
more
that.
times than not, Nightwing takes this thanks to his athletic skill, detective training, and high-tech gadgets. All he had to do was dare to wing it.
The winner is Nightwing.
Alright. So next time, what do we got? Classic match, new rules.
Let's go.
Super Mario vs. Sonic. Didn't they do that before?
This thing came off the camera when I was setting it up.
Are you telling me every single time you've set up the camera, you've never taken the cap off?
I guess next is the 100th episode.
Hey, thanks for watching our 99th episode, and thanks
Which is gonna be
for that awesome live action fight.
Plus, we got a new
animated.
t-shirt. Hey, if you guys want to pick one up, just click that
Wait,
shop
who did
now
they say
button
was
right
the...
there.
Thanks to who? I'm just gonna pull that back again. Ismahawk. Not sure who that is. Might have to look up. I'm sure they'll have information in their description. Which I don't have the video up. And I pre-downloaded it, so there's no no buffering issues before I watch an episode. And watched it as it was streaming, and it's just like every now and I think the couple times I've tried it, one of the times it did buffer. I'm like, ah, crap, how the hell am I gonna edit this? I have to like pause this out. It just creates too much issue for me. Yeah, the harrows of editing a reaction video. The harrowing problems with it. Yeah, that was a good one. Interesting seeing the live action. Now we're going animated next week, where Wiz and Boomstick are going to be animated characters. And saw the designs. I saw the designs a few weeks ago. But you got Mario vs. Sonic. I'm pretty sure they did that before. The new rules. I think Mario won, unless I'm mistaken. Either way, I'm rooting for Mario. I'm a Nintendo kid. So, yeah, I'm going to end this one here. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And until next time, take care.